Who's the most dangerous fighter in UFC now? Who's the one?
Well, John Jones is still one of the, you know, he's the best ever, the best of all.
See, I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall is the best. I think Tom,
well, who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if John
knows?
beats him? John might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
John might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
John easily could, because we don't know how good John is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round.
John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm really interested about this fight.
Yeah, for sure I want to see it happen because it's make our division move fast to the belt.
Of course. One thing John Jones is petty. His pride is not going to allow himself to retire with that.
Francis Nganou's departure created a major void in the UF heavyweight division. John Jones is the current title holder, but doubts persist about his dominance since he hasn't faced the top contenders of this era. Tom Aspin poses a serious challenge to his legacy, though Dana White remains confident in Jones's status as the rightful champion.
John Jones and Mike Tyson are two of the nastiest human beings ever.
I interviewed Tom Aspinall in London.
Another one.
He wants to fight John Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat John Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight.
Dana White has provided a key update on the much-anticipated matchup between Tom Aspin and John Jones, emphasizing that a win over Jones could be a career-defining moment for the rising heavyweight star. He commended Aspin's remarkable self-belief, describing it as almost eerie in its composure. White noted that this kind of quiet confidence is a crucial trait for anyone aspiring to reach legendary status in the sport.
If he can win, he can beat John Jones, it's life-changing.
He's got an amazing self-confidence. I mean, he just exudes calm, almost chilling self-confidence.
If you're a fighter, you better have that.
Yeah.
That's what you'd have to have. If you want to be one of the all-time greats, that's exactly what you have.
John Jones initially didn't see much personal gain in taking a fight with Tom Aspin, but he admitted that from the fans' point of view, it could be an exciting matchup, especially with Aspin being younger and noticeably larger in size.
I guess the clarifying question then is, if Dana and Hunter do come to you after this fight, the figures make sense to you, would you then be open to fighting Tom Aspin, or are you categorically thinking, he does nothing for me, I will not fight that guy?
He does nothing for me. He does nothing for me. If you're a person that wants to see me really challenged, then I get it. 7 years younger, like 35 pounds bigger than me, right? I get it. It's like, wow, this John's so good. We finally found someone way younger and way bigger than him. Let's see how he does against that. I get that now.
John Jones sees a potential bout with Alex Pereira as a smarter move from both a business and career perspective compared to a matchup with Tom Aspinall. He notes that Pereira is the same age and walks around at a similar weight, making the fight more evenly matched physically. Beyond that, Pereira has already built an impressive resume with multiple accolades, meaning a win over him would add significant value to Jones' legacy. On the other hand, while Jones respects Aspinall's toughness and skill, he points out that Aspinall hasn't yet achieved the level of recognition or accomplishments needed to make the fight truly meaningful. In essence, Jones suggests that taking on a high-risk opponent like Aspinall, who has yet to become a legacy-defining name, doesn't make strategic sense at this point in his career.
If you were my manager, if you were on my team, why not fight against Pereira, a guy who's the same age as you, and we walk around the same exact size? Business-wise, it makes more sense. Fight the, I'm gonna call him this, fight the nobody that may be more dangerous, or fight the guy with all the accolades who's incredibly dangerous, but it actually will affect your legacy.
If he's weighing 215, he would fight Tom Aspinall better than him weighing 245 pounds. In his 205 frame, he could fight Tom Aspinall better than he'd fight him at that 250, because that's not his weight class. While he didn't last long with Cyril, he didn't look as fast. He carried more weight. Cyril just did some weird stuff, and John, you don't make mistakes against you.
Real John Jones. So many times we have told John Jones, be yourself, don't pretend to be a nice guy. He's always thought that's an insult. Like, well, if I'm pretending to be a nice guy, then you must say that I'm not. No, John Jones is a competitor, and you look at his eyes right here, in the eyes of what's telling the story. Muhammad Ali had a very famous quote. He said, If you ever dream of beating me, wake up and apologize. John Jones cannot believe that Tom Aspinall thinks he can beat him. He cannot believe that he's standing next to him and saying things to the media. John Jones is still hungry, and he's a true competitor. And that look in his eye, Daniel, that's the real John. Look in his eye, Daniel, that's the real John Jones.
Evil, too. He kind of evil a little bit. You
he's
know
a
he
tough
is.
guy, man.
He really is the final boss. He's a tough dude. He hates when people stand up to him. It didn't raise my excitement level to this point. It almost felt like he no-sold him. When Tom put his hand on him, he kind of like, He kind of no-sold him a little bit. Give him a little bit, John. Build the anticipation. You know how to do it.
If he fights Tom, that's his last fight no matter what. I think he's going to make an absolute shit ton of money.
There's reports he's asking for upwards of $30 million. Do you think Dana can pull out the cash with that?
Give it to him.
Do you think John Jones being in the division has held up the division?
He deserves this. He's a big star. What we can do? Just improve ourselves in fights, doing best social media, maybe going to jail like I'm him, or I don't know what, to be so famous like John Jones.
Oh god damn. It's like everyone, it's like you risk going down as the, no matter what, you don't have to fight again, greatest of all time. People will say that you're the greatest of all time, greatest of all, John Jones, or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime, so you're still the greatest of all time. But are you? Like, what do you do? Just to completely avoid that fight?
I think John Jones looks at every human, and I could fuck them up.
If that was the case, you don't think he would be saying after Stipe, I'm gonna fucking destroy Tom?
Yeah, maybe he gets older and he's got all this weight on him now, and who knows, some injuries could. Maybe not though. I could not be thinking.
Dude, I bet he looked at Tom. Maybe not though. It's just tough to say, man.
Definitely
maybe not.
possible.
Definitely possible. Maybe not.
John Jones that you saw will not be the John Jones that fights Tom Aspinall. Teddy Atlas. I had this conversation with Teddy, and I said, Coach, he's not missing. He's spinning around backwards where he can't even see the opponent. I don't think he missed a shot against Stipe. When I spoke to Tom said he was watching slow motion. He said, I got all the respect for Stipe, but he was simply too slow, and John was too slow. Not one of those spins, not one of those things would have I ever been there, and that is a real reality with youth. Generally, you will give that back for size. Like if Tom Aspinall turns out to be the faster of the two, oh, by the way,
that fight didn't happen. I think it's going to happen International Fight Week, Las Vegas 2025. But what do I know? I'm not basing that on any inside information. Excuse me. I'm not basing that on any inside information. I know what you know. When Joe Rogan said apparently he wants 30 million, good for him. You know, I hope he gets paid that money. You know, I hope he does, and I hope we get to see the fight. And if it isn't 30 million, maybe it's around that. Maybe it's 20 million, 25, maybe it's more, like you say. You know, I think the demand for this fight will be there. I think it's incredible that in this day and age, we're talking about these kind of fight purses being involved in mixed martial arts. I said this in my video. When I started MMA, I'm talking pre-UFC, when I first started like regional level MMA, everybody said, if you're getting into this sport for money, you're in the wrong sport. And I was like, holy cow, this is the only reason why I'm getting involved in this sport. And of course, you know, I did pretty well. And now we're seeing people, obviously Conor McGregor's done fantastic. Lots of people in the UFC have become millionaires through the sport. And now we're seeing, you know, people like John Jones getting what was only regarded, or what was only seen possible in like the high level superstar boxers, those kind of paydays. Now John Jones is getting that, and other people will be down the line as well. I think it's a great sign of the growth of the sport.
I mean, even before the fight, I said if he won, there's no way John doesn't do this fight. John Jones isn't afraid to fight anybody. John Jones behind the scene is not a guy that turns down fights.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah, I'll say 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you still have a thing in your mind, like, right, like maybe by July or something, if John's not committed, we kind of have to look at maybe stripping him and letting Aspinall move on?
100%. Listen, if we don't get the fight done, we move on and we make another fight. But not last night, but the night before. I mean, I was up in my room with my people till like 6 in the morning. We're working on lots of stuff right now. There's lots of But other than that, John Jones behind the scene is not a guy that turns down fights.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah, I'll say 100%.
I realized that the spinning kick is a move that can drop an elephant if you do it right. It's a devastating move, in my opinion, the most powerful kick in martial arts. And you know, we've all seen me fight for a while now. I don't really have one punch knockout power. So my mind was, John, why not develop a technique that could stop any man? And I came up with the spinning back kick. And I mean, you can be any fighter, and if I catch you just right, you're going down, no matter how well